Good morning, it's Dr. Oob here, and I'm eating kind of a late brunch. I worked 24 hours in the ER yesterday, so I just got home at around 10:30 and made myself some breakfast. And I wanted to give you guys a few tips based on what I made myself for breakfast. I don't claim to be an amazing chef or anything, but one of the things we don't do enough of in America is we don't eat enough vegetables. So any way that you can sneak in more vegetables is a win in my book. One of the ways I like to sneak in vegetables is with eggs. Eggs cover the flavor and taste of many different things. So I'm going to show you what I kind of made this morning. If I can. It's I browned some onions in the skillet before with some coconut oil and some butter. And then after the onions were nice and browned, I started to add the kale. And I added a lot of kale, as you can tell. I'm not particularly fond of kale, but it is a great superfood loaded with dark green nutrients and iron. So I love adding it to smoothies and things that I can hide the flavor. It's a little difficult for me to eat a kale salad by itself. So anyway, I put a bunch of kale in, and then of course I just throw in the scrambled eggs and mix it all up, and the flavor's amazing, and you really don't taste the kale. A little note about kale is that kale is actually a goitrogen. I just recently learned. I was reading Dr. Amy Myers' book, The Thyroid Connection, and I learned that raw kale and broccoli and other cruciferous vegetables can actually be goitrogens, which means they can actually contribute to an enlarging thyroid and possibly slow down the thyroid. It doesn't sound like it's a very powerful connection, but of note that if you have thyroid issues or low thyroid or an enlarged thyroid, you can decrease the goitrogenic effect by cooking it. So raw broccoli, raw kale has that effect, but cooked kale and cooked broccoli does not. So that's my tip for the thyroid as far as cooking the kale down. And then as you can see in my plate, I had added some raspberries for a little bit of sugar and some more phytonutrients. So I hope this little tip helps, and I hope everyone's enjoying this Sunday. It's a very rainy, stormy day here in Austin. Hopefully it's better weather where you are.